Hey friends, welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Oleg, and this is one and only Mr. Bond. We like watches. In today's video, we're going to do a full review of Axios Flagship 40. I have some experience with this micro brand. I actually reviewed their very first offering. That watch was called Ironclad, and it actually made to my top 10 watches of the year for last year. It was a very impressive first offering. Now, before we get started with the review, I just want to mention that this watch was provided to us for free by Axios, and we get to keep it. Of course, that's not going to affect the review in any way. I'm not going to pull any punches. I still tell it how it is. I just thought you should know. Now, let's get started with the review. Let's begin with the dimensions. The watch has a diameter of 40 millimeters, so from this point to this point, but excluding the crown, it's 46 millimeters from one lug to another, so from this point to this point. It has a lug opening of 20 millimeters, and it's 13 millimeters thick, including that domed and boxed sapphire crystal. Here's what the watch looks like on my 7.5 inches or just under 20 centimeters wrist. I really like the fit of this watch. First of all, the bracelet, super comfortable. These Beats of Rice or even Jubilee bracelets are among my favorites. Very breathable, perfect for summer. Also, the color combination of this watch plays with the light really well, and overall on the wrist it looks like a perfect summer watch. Now the thickness, 13 millimeters. At first I was a little bit worried about it, however a lot of that does come from the crystal, so actually on the wrist the watch appears to be smaller. It also has a very reasonable lug-to-lug distance, only 46 millimeters, and it's a true 46 millimeters. It doesn't have weird protrusions, no first male links. It's a true 46 millimeters. If you have a smaller size wrist, I think this one will wear just fine. On my size of a wrist, I really like this size. I really like that shorter lug-to-lug distance. It's just a very comfortable watch to wear. The crown doesn't dig into your wrist, and the weight is comfortable, 145 grams on a supplied stainless steel bracelet. The case is also made out of stainless steel 316L. Nice satin finish on this case, with slight beveling on the lugs. Looks very attractive, and it better be for a watch in this price category, so the watch is $500 US. We also have a screw-down crown at the 3 o'clock position with the Axios logo there. It's done in high polish to contrast the satin finish on the case. It is a screw-down crown helping with water resistance, 200 meters of water resistance on this case, on this watch. The crown grip is okay, however, there is this little lip. As you can see, the case is actually slightly narrower than the bezel. So the bezel is 40 millimeters in diameter. The case is about 39 millimeters in diameter. That's why this watch wears so well, but also it creates a little separation here. So there is a little bit of an overhang from the bezel, about a half a millimeter on each side, which makes operation of this crown a little challenging. It's not too bad. I mean, I'm being a little nitpicky here, but something you should be aware of. This Axios has a screw-down case back, of course helping with that water resistance. It also has a very attractive engraving of a ship. It's contrasted nicely with the sandblasted finish on the case back itself. Looks really nice. One of the best case backs from any micro brand I've seen so far. 120 click unidirectional diver style bezel. The bezel action, nice and solid, very firm, confident clicks. In fact, you wouldn't expect such a confident bezel on a watch in a case like this. From such a refined looking watch, you would expect the bezel that turns very easily. This one has quite a bit of resistance. No backplay whatsoever. It also has a loomed sapphire bezel insert. There's plenty of grip on this bezel. It sits quite tall above the case. Operating it even in diver gloves should not be an issue. The dial, very attractive, very beautiful. A lot of detail to this dial. So first of all, this watch is available in a few different color combinations. I'm glad that they sent me the blue one because that's probably my favorite color combination out of all. I like that gradient from dark blue, almost black, to a lighter shade of blue. I also like the sunburst effect on this dial. Outside in the direct sunlight, it just looks spectacular. This watch here is a perfect summer watch. Not too much writing on this dial, just Axios logo close to the 12 o'clock position. That looks like a Star Trek logo, doesn't it? And it has flagship and 200 meters written closer to the 6 o'clock position. Also at the 6 o'clock position, you find a date window. Very nice integration of this date window. As you can see, the date wheel is color matched to the dial. Looks quite attractive. I also like that white font. It matches the white font on the dial. What I don't like is the red font on the dial. I think it kind of gets lost on this blue dial. I get what they were going for. They were trying to match that red writing on the dial to the red triangle at the 0 o'clock position, at the red tip on the seconds hand. It just doesn't look that good, that writing. I wish they maybe changed that to a different color or maybe found a different way to integrate it. The rest of the dial, again, very attractive. We have applied indices for hour marks, kind of these bigger indices for 3, 9, and 12. They're kind of the double sized of regular indices. Plenty of lume on this dial. Here's a lume shot for you. As you can see, the dial and the bezel are lumed, and if you're a lume fan, I don't think you'll be disappointed. This one here lasts for a pretty long time. No surprise there, since one of the owners of this company is also a founder of Zelos, and Zelos has probably one of the best looms from any micro brand. The design of this watch is very vintage diver watch inspired. I quite like it. I like diver watches, I like vintage watches, so this one is right up my alley. I like the fact that it doesn't have any crown guards. I like the fact that it has these hashes all around the bezel. I like the choice of the strap. A lot to like about this watch. In fact, I think it's one of the best looking micro brand watches I've seen in a while. Quite attractive. However, I would be not doing my job if I didn't mention a few other watches that look very similar to this one. First of all, we have some higher end brands like Brado Captain Cook. These two watches have a lot of similar elements. Another watch is actually a Doxa diver. Again, quite a few similar elements. And the third watch that I'm going to mention is another microbrand watch from a company called EMG. From my understanding, a bunch of Watch You Seek users have designed this watch here, and it's very attractive. And in fact, the design between the two watches is very similar. You can see some differences on the dial and on the bezel, but overall the two watches have very similar design elements. And even though this watch looks like a few other different watches, I still really like it. I appreciate what they did with the design here. It is very attractive. What I don't like about this watch is the price. So they went with the Miyota 9 series movement, 9015 to be exact. It has 24 joules, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and has 48 hours of power reserve. Not a bad movement by any means. However, in a $500 watch, you're expecting a little bit of a better movement. You're probably expecting a Sellita SW200. I know I am. I've been kind of spoiled by other micro brands. So the fact that this watch has a Miyota movement, even though it's a great movement, in my opinion, it makes the watch slightly overpriced. If it were about $100 cheaper, I think it would be a much better value for money. As it is right now, yes, it has great finishes. It has a really nice design, but the choice of a movement kind of doesn't justify that $500 price tag. The last thing I'll talk about is this bracelet. It's a really nice and comfortable bracelet. Beats of Rice bracelet here with satin finished outer links and polished middle links. Looks quite nice. It also has this big oversized clasp. I actually like this clasp quite a bit. I don't mind the clasp being so big. I mean, it doesn't have to be this big. Look, it almost matches the size of the watch head. Again, for me personally, not a negative. However, for a lot of people, that might be a negative. But what I do like about this clasp is the fact that it has quite a few micro adjustments. It has 6 micro adjustments. No diver extension though, but it does have an engineered clasp with double pushers and this safety fold over here, and it is Axios signed. It also has screw-in-place pins and not push-style pins, which is quite nice. I like this watch quite a bit. I like the aesthetic, I like the design of it, I like the finishes on the case itself, the packaging, everything is great. By the way, I did an unboxing video on Instagram. Check out that video if you're interested to see the packaging of this watch. All of that is great, just the price too high, especially with that Miyota movement. If the watch had Sellita SW200 movement, we wouldn't have any problem. I would give it 2 thumbs up. With the Miyota movement for $500, I just think it's too expensive. But if you're okay with the value proposition of this watch, if you know what you're getting, I don't think you'll be disappointed. This is a pretty good quality watch, other than the few negatives that I mentioned. The crown being a little bit difficult to operate, this big oversized clasp, and of course the price. On top of these negatives, there's one more negative that I need to mention, and again that comes with the movement. It's the rotor noise. You can definitely hear it, you can feel it on your wrist, slightly vibrating, so it's just something you should be aware of. I appreciate you watching this video until the end. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss more videos like this one in the future. We release new videos every week. and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this Axios Flagship 40. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you buying one of these? Are you letting this one go? Leave all those thoughts below. I always enjoy reading your comments. By the way, today on my wrist, I'm wearing my Citizen Pro Master. I did a full review of this watch. That video can be found on the YouTube channel. I will also leave it linked in the description below. Maybe you already noticed that I'm actually wearing this watch on a Bond NATO strap. It's one of our NATO straps, and I will leave a link to bondnatostraps.com in the description below as well, in case you're looking for a good quality NATO strap and want to support this YouTube channel at the same time. Buying one of these NATO straps is a great way to do both. And there's also a second link in the description below. That one is a secret link. Have a look if you're curious. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You would have to angle the camera lower.
Okay, we'll change the angle.